fits within the revenues we're going to have. And hence, that's what we're cutting from. Does that make sense?
No, it does make sense.
Okay.
We have laid off, or have we, so far this year, 2002? And we've had a hiring freeze. I guess the question is, does this take into account the number of slots that we have still on the books but are unfilled, or
No.
how does that work?
No, so it's based off the 2002 budget. There are, as you're implying, our actual costs for 2002 in many departments will be less than the budget because of the hiring freeze and other things. And you might remember in February, we cut general fund budgets by $7 million.
Right.
So that $7 million isn't taken out of this. We started from the 2002 budget.
You start with January.
We started with what you adopted in November.
So in some sense, you could say that the $7 million in principle, if it's already been taken off, is going to be a head start on meeting these targets.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
The problem is many of those were one-time savings. And so, yeah, it's certainly better than if they weren't there, but it isn't all like we've solved $7 million.
How have you treated the strategic planning office?
It is not split up in those numbers. So one of the things we have to do this summer is move around the portions of the old SPO and put them into the appropriate departments. But those also are subject to a cut as we're working on it.
Can you give us the same thing for the utilities? You may not have it with us. But
We have not done this exercise for the utilities.
but will you do the exercise for that?
Not the same thing, because each of them is having its own rate process, and we do their budget basically through setting their rates.
And utilities had major cuts this year as well.
Right, both SPU and City Light. You might remember in April, we came in and we went through the operating cost reductions and the capital cost reductions they were making. And in fact, in terms of actual layoffs, I think the only place we're expecting layoffs in this calendar year is in City Light. There will certainly, it's very likely there will be some layoffs for 2003.
Well, curious about the interplay between general funds and grant funds, particularly from the federal government, but perhaps the state as well. I mean, if we cut a position on the general fund, but that was needed for a match for state funds, does that mean then that is there a ripple effect?
There can be. In some departments, we will save general fund money, but the consequence will be to lose grant money. So transportation is a good example where you get most of the grants that we're eligible for, we have to match. If we don't put as much general fund in to match grants, we will receive fewer grants. So yes, you're not really always saving a dollar. You're sometimes saving a portion of a dollar, or by saving a dollar, you forego $3. So yeah, you're absolutely right. That's something we'll have to factor into this as we go through.
Bob, go ahead.
I was wondering if the baseline for transportation includes the reorganization.
No, it doesn't.
Hey, that was a great job and a lot of fun, and it's only 20 after 3. So let's say thanks to Peter and Ben for this great exercise, to Ben and Saroja for the other programs. Special thanks to Barbara for logistics. And a very big thank you to Krista and Saroja for the planning that they did, but for Saroja putting together for Krista putting together that great panel this morning. Yes. Thank you very, very much. Heard really positive comments about the panel. I think people were ready for change. Change in, the kind and the type and the tone, and we got it. And we got a lot of things to think about in the next weeks and next months that we go forward as we face this very challenging time. For people that are tuned in and watching, If you would like more information about the budget or the budget retreat or the process, please contact Krista Bunch on my staff. And her number is 684-8801 or email at Krista Bunch, krista.bunch@ci.seattle.wa.us. And we do have a budget town meeting on June 20th at Olympic View School, and that's up in the Northgate neighborhood. It's near the intersection of 5th and 95th Northeast, and that begins at what time? 6:30. 6:30, June 20th. So we invite you all to attend that. And now that you've got your curiosity piqued about the budget, that would be a good next step. So thanks to everybody that attended today, and to especially those that worked hard and inputted this retreat. And we are adjourned.
He actually said, I hope you guys can get to the next board.
Oh, me. I'm going back to the office for a couple hours.
I'll say, boss, I'm not doing this.
Thank you.
Would it be possible to get one or three package materials? Yeah, because I actually had a request yesterday. And
Did you actually shoot the stuff that you did then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope they're shooting different times of the year too. I would think that over 3 years you'd be able to do that.
Yeah, we didn't start out thinking this was going to take. It was just, there was just a gap, a space of time. We
There was
didn't
no
work on it.
funding.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Greg Nichols, Mayor of Seattle.
Hi, I'm Norm Rice. I'm the former mayor of Seattle, and during my administration, the whole neighborhood planning process began.
For 3 years, citizens throughout Seattle got together to write plans that would shape the growth in their neighborhoods for the next 20 years.
And in 1999, the City Council adopted and finalized those plans, and now neighborhoods are using sweat equity, matching funds, donations, all those things to make those plans come alive.
More than 1,200 projects have been completed or are now underway. These projects are aimed at making our Seattle neighborhoods the very best places to live, work, and raise a family.
Matter of fact, this project in back of me is just an example of their handiwork. You see artwork and flowers and benches and all those things that are put together. We're going to highlight a lot of those projects in the film that's going to follow.
We're glad that you could join us.
Seattle's Northeast Sector neighborhoods stretch from the University District to Maple Leaf to the Lake City neighborhood. Incomes may vary widely in these areas, but community concerns are similar. During a 5-year planning process, Northeast Sector neighbors created a list of top community priorities they hope to achieve to increase the quality of life in their neighborhoods over the next 20 years as density increases. Improving open spaces was by far the most important task neighbors singled out. In Lake City, little-used Albert Davis Park will be getting a big facelift. A parking garage will be put in to improve the chronic lack of parking in the area, and some adjacent property has been purchased to expand the park. The entire area will be redeveloped to become the Lake City Civic Center.
The first improvement is the expansion of the library by about 4,000 square feet, and in addition to the library for the neighborhood service center, which will relocate from the old fire hall.
By the time renovation is complete, this old community center will be replaced, and more density, like these neighboring apartment buildings, will be located near the new Civic Center.
It's going to be a meeting place for people in the neighborhood.
Little Brook Park is another open space victory for Lake City residents. It was built on land slated to be turned into apartments like the ones surrounding it. But neighbors declared this plot of land to be the last piece of open space in Lake City, and their long fight got them this park.
The community, as well as Thornton Creek Alliance, came together to really promote the site to become a park.
This vacant lot near Northgate Mall has been deserted for nearly 13 years, and now negotiations are underway to finally turn it into a community pea patch. This is a huge break for the neighborhood because until recently, the landowner had his heart set on developing apartments here. Now neighbors and the city are coming up with the money to buy the land and create the Maple Leaf Community Garden.
We hope to have a little gathering area with some benches, a passive area for people to watch the gardeners and enjoy being outside. Also provide some bird habitat and maybe a native plant, a border of native plants.
Kitty corner from the future pea patch is park number 6, a lush green belt that nearly borders Northgate Mall. You could easily miss this open space if you weren't looking for it. Thornton Creek winds through this wetland area that's accented by trails and a bridge over the creek. The park is owned by the Parks Department but maintained by Seattle Public Utilities and a small army of volunteers. It provides a natural habitat corridor and key open space for people living close to the mall who have few open space options. The Roosevelt neighborhood is also getting a pea patch as the result of a lot being vacated. This too was a top neighborhood priority that will be providing open space in an otherwise dense neighborhood. Just up the street from this new pea patch is Frula Park. Here, a great new playground was installed that includes a teeter-totter, merry-go-round, slide, and plenty of swings. Marbles are improving this roadway just a few blocks down on 65th, in the heart of the Roosevelt neighborhood. This colorful, whimsical art project brightens some loud street corners and clearly improves one of the Northeast Sector's busiest intersections. Cowan Park in Ravenna has also seen big open space improvements. Kids love the new playground and the glider neighbors worked hard with the city to install here. In addition, new public art is putting this long-neglected Olmsted Park back on the city map.
There were good bones here from the Olmsted plan. It's a strong edge between the former boulevards and the natural ravine. and it was part of the original Olmsted plan, and not too much bad had happened here in terms of stupid design decisions.
Drug exchanges and other criminal activity in this park have been replaced by neighborhood kids who really use the new equipment. Neighbors are focusing the redevelopment efforts on natural systems and cycles. As a result, they're daylighting and better connecting the park to the ravine bordering it, and the public art is all about nature. Even the ancient bathrooms here will be getting a makeover.
In 1909, it was built as a belvedere, basically. Downstairs was the restrooms, and upstairs was an open pergola, and we're bringing that back.
Stephen Antipit says because neighbors have used their own sweat to make these changes, this park means more now to the community than it has in a long time. One of the most amazing open space improvements is in the heart of the University District. In the space of 10 weeks, University Heights Center received a